I will be documenting my unwanted journey with breast cancer and chemo. And hopefully that what I go through, what I experience, what I do can assist others, give hope, give faith, and just give a different way of dealing with having cancer, especially breast cancer. I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer May of 2019. Of course, I have all of the initial feelings that everyone else does when they have breast cancer: fear of death, where did it all go wrong? How did this happen? Does it run in my family? What didn't I do? What could I have done? And I think that initial process took about I'm gonna say 2 months to just accept. And then once I accepted it, it was, okay, so what do we do now? Because we all know when you think of cancer of any type of way, what do you think of? You think of all those commercials with everyone losing their hair, smiling, but they're sick, and that's what you think cancer is. I've had breast cancer since May of last year, and I don't look nothing like what you see on TV. And there's a reason why for that. I work with nutritionists who flushed out my system, put me on a particular diet, and gave me supplements to take. Now, I would have loved for that to have worked, but it didn't. What ended up happening was the tumor began to grow and then die. And when a tumor dies, become necrotic, it releases dead cells. And what happens is those dead cells then form tumors in other parts of your body. And that is why I'm now starting the journey with chemo, because I was never, ever going to touch chemo. This is week 1. I start with Taxol, which is a chemotherapy medicine, and it's a once-a-week medicine for 12 weeks. Hopefully I will only have to do Taxol, and I will not have to go to AC, which is the stronger 2 of the chemo therapy medicines. I took my first round on Wednesday. It takes about 2 hours. Everything's through IV. They give you a steroid, they give you Benadryl, and then they give you something for for acid reflux. The steroids to help you to not lose weight. You only get these 3 pre-meds for the first 3 sessions. I didn't have any of the side effects that they tell you that you would have. This is also the first round. I did have a little bit of nausea. My mouth was dry, so I had to, really increase my water intake, and the burning, which no one told me was going to happen. The tumor itself actually burns. And I guess due to the size of the tumor, because it's about the size of a lemon, is why I can feel the chemotherapy the way that I can. But if the burning and the little bit of nausea is going to be the bulk of my side effects to this, I'll take that. I'm gonna take that. Yeah, I'm gonna deal with that. But like I said, this is just the first week. I have to see what the other 11 weeks are gonna look like. And I'm hoping that I don't have to do all 12 weeks. I'm also working with a nutritionist who is going to flush me out after every 2 rounds of chemo treatment to keep me from being fatigued and being sick and having my hair fall out and losing weight. And let me just let you know, don't tell them what you're doing outside of their traditional way, because they'll discourage you in every step of the way. They don't want you taking supplements. You have to understand that there are supplements that are stronger than the actual chemotherapy medicine. If you got vitamin E in an IV in your veins, it can actually combat the chemotherapy. That's the #1 supplement they'll tell you not to take. So let's think about that. If vitamin C is so strong that it will cancel out the chemotherapy, why don't they use it to treat the cancer itself? They won't, because they make a whole lot of money when you do chemo and surgery. So there are certain supplements I cannot take because I have to allow the chemo to work. But also understand there are certain vitamins and supplements and things that you eat that are stronger than the actual toxin that is chemotherapy itself. But they do not want you doing it. I'm gonna do what I have to do to make sure I get rid of this tumor and to stay healthy for myself and for my kids. Because I'm not going to be weak and sick and I can't do anything. And then they go, oh, good job. You're doing a great job. This is what it's supposed to do. No, chemotherapy is not supposed to make you sick. That's not what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to kill off the cancer cells. That's what it's supposed to do. But chemotherapy doesn't know the bad cells from the good cells. So what does it do? It just wipes out all the rapid producing cells. That is why you lose your hair. That is why your nails get soft and turn black. That is why your skin starts to change colors. And that is why you don't have an immune system, because these are all of our rapid producing cells. Our white blood cells, which is our immune system, is our rapid producing cells. So what chemotherapy does, it just targets all the rapid producing cells. That's just all it does. It's not designed to just attack the cancer cells. So as it attacks the cancer cells, it attacks all of these cells as well. And depending on how healthy you are, really depends on how you make it through chemotherapy. That's literally what it depends on. Because what chemotherapy will do is it will show you underlying health issues that you don't even know you had. Because if you have no immune system, now all the other issues that you may not know there comes to light. I'm not going to go through this process and get sick to the point where I can't just be me and I can't function. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to do the chemo the once a week, and I'm going to get the IV, and I'm going to smile, and I'm going to tell them about my side effects, but I'm not going to tell them what I do afterwards. Like how I take my vitamin E and my raw honey right after the IV comes out of my arm. I go right into the bathroom and take it because that has to go throughout my body. I'm not going to tell them that I drink my soursop tea and my lemongrass tea and my super mint tea to help flush my system out. I'm not going to do that either. I'm not going to tell them that I changed my diet. I'm not going to, because all of this they will discourage because it goes against their traditional way of thinking. Oh, wait, you have cancer, it's chemo, it's radiation, it's surgery, and that's it. Especially here in America anyway. In other countries, they actually do other things. But here in the US, this is the traditional way. And if you do anything outside of that, they will discourage it. They called me Friday because by day 2 or 3 is when the body really begins to feel it. So the burning started for me Thursday. And on Friday, it intense, it jumped up, and then from Friday into Saturday is when it really got bad. It felt like my breast was on fire, but I will suffer through that. And then they called me and they asked me how I was feeling, so I let them know how I was feeling. It's like, it's great, this may be the gauge of, your side effects, but this is just round 1, and, as you go on, the body gets used to it and things change. And I was just on the phone like, sure, no problem. Sure, yeah, things change and the body may change. That's, your goal is not my goal. Your data is not my data. I'm going to go based on what I need for me. And so what I'm going to do is every 2 rounds of chemo, that 3rd week, because with Taxol, you get to miss a week. If you miss a week or 2, they're not going to run you down for that because it's every week for 12 weeks. So after I have my 1st round, this week coming is my 2nd round, which means the next week I go in and get my flush with the nutritionist. And I have my supplements that I take. And I have the water that I drink. And my juices. I have my anti-inflammation juices. I have my apple and carrots with ginger juice. I have things that I'm going to do for me to help me get through chemo, because you don't have to look like the ads that they show you for chemo patients. You don't have to look like that. If my hair does start to thinning out or fall out as the process goes, that's just something I have to deal with. But I'm not going to be fatigued. I'm not going to, have nausea or not be able to eat, because now you have to do 6 small meals instead of the 3 larger meals. And I actually have put on about 2 pounds since this started, because that's 6 small meals. It's going to be the death of me. But I will make it through. Right now, I was 170 the week before I started. The week of, because this is nerves, I went down to 164. So the day on Wednesday, I was 164, and now I'm 167. And I know that's because of the smaller meals, and I think the steroid is actually making me hungrier, but I only got 2 more rounds of that, and then they stopped that altogether. And then we'll really have to see how strong my immune system and my body really is once the help that they give you with the chemo comes to an end. But yeah, this is my journey. This is the chapter that I didn't want in my life, but I will write it and I will read it over and over when I'm done, and I will be satisfied with it. You don't ask for this. Nobody wants this. You question everything when you get it because it's just you. The majority of times that you have cancer, you don't have a cancer buddy. There's no one else in your circle that has it. It is just you in this world by yourself, unless you find other people. Like, I'm in a wonderful group on Facebook of women that are going through the same thing, and that's our community. You don't want to be a part of it, but you're glad that it's there for you. And you get to hear other stories and how other women have dealt it, whether they went traditional, whether they did the surgery, whether they went to the centers in India, Japan, and Mexico, and which is very costly, but those centers also get rid of your cancer through other means that is not chemotherapy or surgery. And if I had the money, I would have gone. I think Hope for Cancer in Mexico, I think it's like 46,000 for 3 weeks. I can't think of how much the one in India and Japan cost, but the women in the group that did it cashed out their pension, took out a second mortgage. They did whatever they could to not do it traditionally, because chemo is a toxin. That's what it is. It is a toxin. It is poison that flows through your body, and, but let them tell you it's poison with a purpose. Unfortunately, though, to cure one part of your body, it damages other parts of your body. It throws, for women who do chemo, it throws us into early menopause. I haven't hit menopause. I'm only 40. It's going to throw me into early menopause. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't age. It ages your ovaries. It stops your cycle. Hopefully I don't go through any of that, because it takes, for every round of chemo, it takes the body 6 months to bounce back from it. So I'm doing 12 rounds every week for 12 weeks. So you only can imagine how long it's going to take for my body to bounce back from each round of this. Luckily, for the past year and a half, I have changed my diet, and I've been taking my supplements and my vitamins every day, every week, every month since June of 2019. So hopefully all of that will help me in this particular journey. But just know, for every round of chemo, it takes the body 6 months to bounce back. This is why you see the ads and the commercials, and you see the family members, and they're so weak and they're so down, because they will let you believe, oh, with Taxol, in 7 days you'll be fine. No, it's not the case, because I can feel it throughout my body. I can feel like certain parts of my body will tingle. My body's not used to this. So I'm not fatigued or nauseous. I don't have headaches, but I can feel like certain parts of my skin will just like tingle, like the lower part of my back will have a tingling sensation. I know that means I need to go drink some water, or go drink my mint tea, or go drink my lemon water, or go take my supplements, because this is something foreign in my body. So I don't have the typical side effects, but I feel it. It feels more like pressure, like something's just squeezing me. So it's not painful, but it's like I'll get moments of a pressure feeling, and then I'll relax. Yeah, this is my body trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And I got to do this in the next couple of days, and I got to do this every week for 12 weeks until the tumor goes away. And now what it's doing is it's actually drying the skin. So now I got to combat that as well. So when I started the Taxol on Wednesday, my skin wasn't dry. And when I say the skin, only the skin where the tumor is. That's what's drying up. And so now the dry spot has gotten bigger from the Thursday into Saturday. So, and I did ask them about that, and they was like, oh yes, the chemo has been known to dry out the skin, which is not something they tell you. So I have to combat that as well. So I have my CBD oil, and I have my CBD cream, and I'm gonna, lather myself up with oil and cream, and I'll get vitamin A and D ointment. I'm gonna do what I have to do to have the least amount of side effects, to be able to live my life the way I was living it prior to having cancer, outside of the stress and obviously the bad foods and things of that nature. But I'll take the minimum side effects. If it's going to be the dry alligator skin and then the hot flaming burning sensation, I'll take those two over all the other possible side effects that come with Taxol. The harder side effects come with the AC medicine, and my goal is not to get that far. My goal is to take the Taxol, use the supplements, help boost the Taxol so that after these 12 rounds, the tumor disappears. Or hell, shrinks small enough to do the surgery, because they won't do it right now, given to the size of the tumor and the fact that it is a necrotumor. It's dying under the skin. So this is week 1. And this is, and I have hair, this so y'all know, I'm not bald, and that's how I would like it to be. Hopefully I'll probably just get some braids just to keep it in. 'Cause I don't know what to do with my hair right now, because, Taxol does, it does thin out the hair, and in some cases it will make your hair fall out. But I really just think it's all in how your body handles the damn poison with the purpose. I think it really just how your body can handle it. And for some women, they can handle it fine, and in some women, their body it couldn't handle it at all. I'm trying to be on the side that can handle it just fine. And yeah, and this is week 1. So I will be documenting my very, very unwanted journey with breast cancer.